So you go to administer, and then you go to blocks, right? Click on it, and it will show you how many blocks are visible. So first one is navigation. Navigation means the menu item that you have. Remember, it was called navigation when we created the menu. The parent item was navigations. So if you do not want your menu to appear anywhere, you can select none here. But I'll let it be. I want to see the menu items. Then the second one is user login, which is the login box that you see when you browse this website as an anonymous user. So that is a block for user login. I do not want it to appear, so I'll say none. Do not appear anywhere. Yeah. So actually, what's happening here? Let me just finish, and I'll come back to you. So this is my left sidebar, right? It says that what are you talking about? So you have different options here. Left side sidebar, right sidebar, content, header, footer. So where are they? So if you select something to appear in the left sidebar, it will appear here. If you say it should appear on the header, it will appear here. If you say appear in the right sidebar, it will appear there. For instance, let us put that user login on the right side. And I'm going to hit save. Let's see what happens. So here, I'm going to refresh this page. Right? So you have it on the right side. That was easy, right? So you can move stuff around. If you had to do this in HTML, trust me, it's difficult. Now, we have this little fellow here. We don't want it, right? Even though we are creating the website in Drupal, we don't want their name to appear on our website because that is not cool. So what I'm going to do is, I'm still in the block space here, and I'll find that bugger here, powered by Drupal, and I'll say none. So do not appear anywhere. And I'm gonna hit save blocks.
And we don't want the logo too.
Huh? You don't want the logo? Okay.
You just want to change it.
This is fine, right? Now, as Lakshmi said, he doesn't like the logo. Or maybe he doesn't want it at all. Where do we go? Administer, and then where would it be? These are your options. Site information, because it's the, will it be?
Themes.
Okay, let's see, for site information. This is about the mission and footer message, right? But here, we want to change something which is related to themes. I should not have asked that question actually, because I didn't talk about it earlier. So we go to themes. So before we had that, so theme is a way you make your website appear to people. So first, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the theme so that you can see what kind of effects you can have on your website when you change your themes. So I'm going to click on themes. This is what we use Aqua Marina for the IEEE website. And then this is what we are currently using. What I want to use is, let's say, this thing, Peachtree. Peachtree is the theme that we used for the Department of Computer Science website. Is that cool?
Yeah, I do.
So Peachtree, and then I'm going to hit save configuration. Right? You change the color scheme and everything. Let me show you how will it appear to the users. Looks better?
Too pink.
It's too pink? You know what? No, that's a valid question, because if we had a website, a computer science department's website, which looked pink, well, you know,
That's awesome.
it's not cool.
No, that looks cool.
Maybe, but you should have a way to differentiate between Victoria's Secret and computer science department. So,
One competition, Victoria's Secret.
yeah, actually, you can say that. Okay, so what we did there, I'm not sure if we have that module, but if you want to change the basic color scheme of your website, there is a module called color. Is that simple? You just download that module, install it, and then you can change the color scheme of your website. Let me see if we have that, okay? So I go to administer modules, and let me see if we have color. Oh, we do. So and it's enabled, right? So let's go to administer, theme, our current theme, which will be selected, and go to configure. And there you select it. You want that color? Okay. Hit save configuration. So I changed the base color. Similarly, you can change any color that you want.
You can color, change the all at a time using color set top of.
From here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just all at once.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip, buddy.
You don't need to go.
Cool. I don't know if I like that, but you can change it, right?
Yeah.
And how cool is that? You have some predefined color sets, or you can customize it totally, right? Now, let me change the theme because I don't kind of like this theme.
You know what's special? What's special about that?
Huh?
Fusion.
Okay, this,
It doesn't exist.
these actually are not themes. They are a way that if you are cool, you can create your own theme. So what people do is that they use these as the starting point, and then they add stuff to it, and then they release a new theme. But on the condition that you should have this theme already installed, and then you can use what they built. So there is a theme called Magazine. It's a nice theme. I'm going to apply that. Now, see, now you can see why he's saying that that doesn't look good, right? We don't want that logo because that's ugly. What I'm going to do is I'll go to my theme, which is Magazine. I'm going to configure, and I'll tell him, do not display the logo. If you want some other logo than the default logo, you can select a file here, and that logo will appear here. And then go save configuration. Cool. Now this is cool, right? With every theme, you get more placeholders for your blocks. So you go to administer and blocks. You remember how it was left sidebar and header and right sidebar, right? Now see what you get with this. You get a left footer box and a right footer box. You get main content here, then you get a top doc, right? And let me show you some websites which use this magazine theme. So if you don't have that theme, just download it from here and you will be fine.
There you go. Right there. New usage statistics.
Here? Okay. 1,760 websites are using it, but where are they?
Yeah.
One of them's January something.
That's where we just go.
Can you click on the image?
Here? Magazine, let me see, there should be something. Here, so you can, your website can look like this. So you will have a top doc, and then you can have different blocks. For instance, if you're a blogger, you can have different blogs, and all these images can appear here, and then you can link those images to this one. And then you can even have a slideshow kind of stuff. So that slideshow will keep moving, and each image is linked to that particular blog. Okay, so let's go back. So what more do you need from your website?
Content.
The content?
The user
Okay.
just hit the do something.
Yeah, for instance, if you wanted to create your own Twitter, how about that? That's cool, right? If we can create our own Twitter. So what you need is that Well, tweet is already taken. Let's make something more general. So you have a tweet, and then you have a description. How about that? So you can say something, a title which will attract someone, and then you have details that you can tell them, right? So for that, what we do is that we usually create a content type, and that content type will have certain kind of content inside it. And then you can specify, okay, I need to be able to submit this particular information. For instance, before we move there, let me show you something.
What's that? How about your new user?
If I click on create content on the IEEE website, I have so many things that I can do. For instance, I can create a new member. So that's a content type that I created, and when I click on it, it'll ask me so many things. What's the first name of the member? What's the last name? What's the email address? What's the Panther ID? And when is his membership expiring, right? We don't show Panther ID, so you have nothing to worry about. It's for our records. Join IEEE on that note, because it's free right now and it won't be free forever.
How did you create that?
Okay, so how did I create that? That's where we are going. So what you want to do is that create your own content type, which can then store content. So people can just add content according to that particular form that you create. So for that, you go to administer, and then here you'll see something like content types. So you click on that. So you have these basics. So you can create a page and story anyways. A story is like a blog post. A page is, for instance, we created our home page. So that's given by default. But you don't want that, you want something more. So what you need is that you want to create an add content type, right? But by default, Drupal does not have very powerful content management. You cannot create different kind of fields. But you have different modules that you can use. So what I'm going to do is that I'll go to the modules. And then I'll enable a few modules. For instance, I want to create cool content. I want to let people upload their files. I want to let people create images so that they can attach an image to something that they are creating. Then I want them to create a number type of text box or a alphanumeric text box. So with those things, I selected and I'm gonna hit save. Now I'll go to administer again and content types, same place, and I'll go add content type. Okay, if I call it cool, I know you're gonna hit me, so we're gonna call it tweet. How about that?
I think it's a copyright.
And then type is a machine. Oh, okay. Chad, right? Chad.
Again, that's copywritten, but you can, it's allowed.
Well, Chad is
I'll
the
allow it.
name of the country. Chad tweets. I don't know if he does though. Okay, so Chad tweets, and I'm gonna hit save content type. There you go. So you have created a basic content type, but you don't know what to submit, right? So you have to create different fields for it. So manage fields. Basically, you get a title, a menu item if you want to create a menu, a body which is a description similar to what you had in a page. So that is given to you by default, and then you can add new field. For instance, I'm gonna add what's happening. Field underscore what is happening. So the first one is the label which will appear on the form that user is going to see. This is what database is going to see this field as. So this has to be no spaces, only alphanumeric, A to Z or 0 to 9 and underscore. Okay?
So first
And then you select a field type. Now these field types are because of the modules that we selected. For instance, file, integer, float. So file is because of file, decimal, float, and integer are because of the number type that we selected, and text is because of the text. Otherwise, you won't have any option here. You can just create something. So I'm gonna call it text. Now text could be just one line of text, or it could be a text area where you can enter, say, 10 lines. I'm gonna use text area because what's happening can take more than one line. And I'll hit save. So it says, how many rows do you want to show the user by default? I'll say 3. Help text, if your users are going to be dumb like me, in that case you can tell them that this is the placeholder for this type of content. For instance, you can say them, okay, this is for what's happening. So if you have something cool to say, just write it here. Default value, if you want something to appear by default. But usually you don't, right? Twitter doesn't have something by default. Okay, tweet this, you know, that would be crazy. Then number of values. This is another cool feature of Drupal. What you can say is that, okay, user can keep adding values as and when they want. So by default, show them one field, and then if they want to add something more, they can say add more, and then they'll post 2 messages together. Or they can say add more, and then they can post 3 messages together. Or you can just say 1, and then required will make them write something in that field. If you want to make it optional, that it's up to you. Just don't submit anything, I'm fine. So you can just uncheck it. Now, plain text or filtered text. Plain text is just plain text. Users cannot choose to enter HTML or any such tag. But if you say filtered text, they can enter the HTML if they want, and then that will be processed. You can specify the maximum length that you want, and in that case, the user cannot submit something longer than that. And I'm going to save it. Now this is what's happening. So we have created it, and I'm going to save it. So save. Now let's go to the home page, and then you have create content. When you click on this, so in addition to page and story, you have something called chat tweet. You can create it. Remember on the IEEE website I had members and advisors. So this is similar to that. So I created something which is called chat tweet. It could have been members, for instance. So when you click on it, it'll ask for the title, the body, and what's happening. See that? And you can submit it. But if you have a body here, it defeats the purpose of having what's happening, right? So you have the option of removing body. To do that, you go to administer, content types, chat tweet, and there you go to submission form settings. Just remove this. And probably if you do not want to say title for that field, you can say something nice. For instance, how's it going? You know. So you ask them how's it going, and then you ask them what's happening. It's redundant, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to create content, and now I'll click on it. See, body's gone. Now you'll say that what are these options, right? Now because I'm the administrator, I see these options. If you were a limited user, you wouldn't see these options, and your page will be much more cleaner than this one. Sure.
How do you give the users permission to add content?
Okay, we'll get there. Let me just submit it, and then that will be the last thing that I'm going to talk about. Is that a relief? Okay, how's it going? Not bad, right? What's happening? We lost some of the audience as soon as we ran out of data. So I'm going to save it. That's it. You just submitted it. And you can submit as much content as you want. For instance, we have 80 members. So we just add a member, and then it will appear on the member page automatically, right? So this is submission. Now if you want, so you understand the concept, right? If I go to create content again, now look at this, node 2, right? Now if I go to create content again and try to add something, and I will say new stuff. Things new here. And then I'll save it. So it created another node. So you'll keep adding the information to the database that you created, right? So this is how it works. But if you go back to the home page, everything is gone. How do you see it, right? You cannot remember the HTML of each and every page on a website. You should have a way to link back there, right? So for that, views come to rescue. So you go to modules. I promise this is the last module I'm going to talk about. Okay, then we should have those modules. Okay. So what I'm going to do is quickly, I'll select these two modules. Views. This is my favorite module though, views. You can do so much with views. So much that I am going to show you. This is a view. This is a view. What is the news? What's news?
Content.
Content type, right? So if the webmaster of this page has to enter something, he'll go to create content, he'll click on news, and then submit a title and a story. That's it, submit it. Similarly for event, I have a field for date, title, and details. So he'll go there, enter the date, title, and details. Similarly, we have another module, which is calendar, but you can check it out at your own now. You know how to work with modules, right? So this is a view. So whatever he submits will come here, arranged by the date, I guess. Yeah, right? So let's see how to create a view. So I'm going to add Mr. How much time do we have? Okay. So I will add Mr. Views, and I'm going to add a view. So I'm going to click on Add. What's the name of the view? Chats, tweets. And then view description if you want to. It's fine. I'll just call it Chad Rocks. That's his password for his bank account, I promise. Next. Okay, it says that it must be alphanumeric without space. Let me make it ugly so it doesn't have issues. Then next, and then you are here at the user interface for the views. What you want to do is that you want to add some fields to it that you want to display. So you click next to the fields. Are we recording it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are recording it just in case if you lose track of what happened here, you can watch it on our website again. And the jokes, I did not make the jokes. Okay, content. See, we already have it. So we'll select it and we'll click on add. And it says, okay, how do you want to display it? I want it to display normally, but okay, I'll show the label too and update. That's it. I didn't change anything. So this is for the detail that we had. What about the title? We want the title too. So for that, you can go to node. And this basically is for grouping. If you click on all, you'll still have all the options. But I just want to go through it like quickly, so I'll select something. So for instance, node should have a title. This one. Add. And then date. So I have these fields, and this is filter. I don't want titles from everything that I create. For instance, I don't want the titles of the pages that I created, right? So what I'm going to do is here. The type, the content type, which is called the node type here. The node type must be chats, tweets, right? See, you created it there and it appears here automatically. update it, and then you want to display this view as a page. So you select page here, you click on add display, and then you give it a nice path. For instance, I want to call it Chat Weeks update. And then I'm going to save it. Right? Now if I go to Q equals Chat Weeks. Is that what we said?
Where's
Yeah.
the dash?
There was a hyphen between Chat. So you can see it. Right? So what's happening? We lost some of the audience members as soon as we ran out of pizza. And then the second one was not bad. And then what's happening? So what's happening is for this, but this is appearing like redundantly, right? We don't want that. So for that, what you do, right here, you click on edit, you'll be taken back to the same place. This was your stuff, and then you go, I don't want any label. None. And update and save it. There you go. We lost some of this one, and then the title was not bad. But usually the title should be above, and then there should be no label here too. If you want to do that, go edit, and here, you don't want any label, you update it, and then click here to change the order. So you want the title first.